Is it worth waiting for the 2026 Toyota RAV4 plug-in hybrid instead of grabbing yourself a hybrid? Well, this conversation and this question is a lot more complex than you might think, and I'm going to help break it down and hopefully guide you on exactly what you should be doing just ahead in this video. First and foremost, we have way more models on the HEV regular hybrid side on the 26 RAV4 than we do on the PHEV plug-in hybrid powertrain system, at least for us here in Canada. You can get a plug-in hybrid RAV4 in 4 different models. You can get it in the SE, you can get it in the XSE, XSE technology package, and then the GR Sport. Now keep in mind, all plug-in hybrids, at least the ones that we get, are built in Japan. So production time and arrival time generally, yes, does take longer to actually happen when you're comparing against the HEV side of things. Those ones are built in Ontario, Canada. And while I'm in Ontario, Canada, so the time of production to, getting the vehicle trucked over to the compound and store is actually much less. It's probably about half the amount of time that it takes for a plug-in hybrid to be built and then sent over. I believe they come through Vancouver and then on a train across to Ontario, Canada. But that doesn't necessarily mean that one is faster than the other. Let me explain. So keep in mind, not everyone is looking for a plug-in hybrid Toyota. The plug-in hybrid RAV4 has actually been quite upgraded from what it used to be in 2025. It now features the 6th generation plug-in hybrid powertrain system, and the RAV4 hybrid features the 5th generation hybrid powertrain system. Both are the first ever to be in the RAV4. Now, if you guys want to know a little bit more in-depth information about how the Toyota hybrid system works, I'm going to leave a copy of a free 50-page long hybrid ebook guide that you can get in the description. I'll also leave another link in this video to a available for purchase hybrid ebook guide that's a little bit more specific. It's got a couple of checkpoints on there and checklists on there if you're already a Toyota hybrid owner. And if you appreciate Toyota hybrid content like this, consider subscribing to the Toyota World YouTube channel. It would really mean a lot to me. Now, a plug-in hybrid isn't right for everyone. What do I mean by that? Well, yes, in order to get the true fulfillment of what you paid for, and yes, you do pay a premium price to get a plug-in hybrid against a hybrid. They're usually at least a few $1,000s more, regardless on if you're talking about a Prius, if you're talking about a RAV4, etc. But in order to get the true fulfillment and return on your investment, you do need to be diligent with plugging in your hybrid Toyota RAV4, whether that means using a plug-in charger at work or installing a level 2 charger, for example, or some type of component at your home to use daily or nightly or have a regular regime, then you're going to not really get the benefit of having a plug-in hybrid. And some Toyota customers and owners just don't want to deal with the hassle. Keep in mind, if your driving or your distance of travel on a regular daily basis is relatively short and you're available to access charging stations wherever you're going to and from, then yes, you can very well have the capability to almost never have to use gasoline. You can run on electric only and a plug-in hybrid if your battery levels are up to charge, whether on a although on a hybrid that's not really the case. However, a lot of customers and viewers and potential buyers of the RAV4 like the ease of use on the HEV. You literally just get in the vehicle, start it, and drive. Everything takes place naturally on its own via things like regenerative braking. Everything recharges on its own, and you can still get pretty decent fuel economy, probably sitting realistically around 7 or 8 liters per 100 kilometers, combining city and highway. You can convert that to miles per gallon as well if you like. But in terms of the hybrid powertrain system versus the plug-in hybrid powertrain system, which one is worth waiting for? Well, let's talk about that. So as I just confirmed with you and for you, not everyone is seeking out a plug-in hybrid powertrain system, which actually makes, in my opinion, the plug-in hybrids a little bit easier to attain when you're talking about the regular hybrids, the HEVs. First of all, there's so many models to choose from on the HEV side of things, all the way from the LE to the Woodland Edition to the Limited. But all those models are very popular and very high demand. And even the fact that they're built more locally doesn't necessarily mean that you can get your hands on one very soon. You do need to place a factory order and wait for one. Now, depending on where you're from and where you're located, that wait time can vary. On the plug-in hybrid side of things, due to the less of a demand of consumers looking for that plug-in hybrid system and technology, I would say that if you're open to color selection and maybe a little bit flexible on model, for example, maybe you're looking at the XSE, but you're okay with the GR, I would actually argue that you can get a plug-in hybrid RAV4 sooner than you can get yourself a regular HEV, just due to the overall popularity and demand. So in this video, you're probably thinking the question should be, is it worth waiting for the plug-in hybrid powertrain Toyota RAV4 over the regular hybrid? Well, I would say and argue that the question should be reversed. Is it worth waiting for the regular hybrid Toyota RAV4 over something that you can get a little bit sooner, which would be the plug-in hybrid Toyota RAV4? Now, depending on where you're from and where you're located, this might be a little bit of a different story, but at least for us here in central Canada or central Ontario, I would definitely say that you can attain a plug-in hybrid RAV4 faster than you can get a hybrid, just because that hybrid technology is so much more tried, tested, and proven. It's more known to the consumer point of view. There's less to do. As I mentioned, you just get in and drive, whereas you do have to remember that, yes, you have to charge your vehicle, but you also have to top up the fuel every once in a while. So you've got two means of actually looking after something, whereas on the hybrid, you really just get in and drive. Why else might you want to wait for the regular hybrid over the plug-in hybrid? Well, there's two reasons actually. One, I believe I already mentioned, the upfront cost of a plug-in hybrid Toyota RAV4 for 2026 is significantly more than many models that are available in the hybrid powertrain system. So that's one reason you don't want to spend more money upfront, even though potentially you could get that money back down the road and more if you're diligent with your charging cycles. And number two, there's just more options on the hybrid side of things, at least for us here in Canada, all the way from the LE, XLE, XLE Premium, the Limited, the Woodland Edition. There are more configurations to choose from. The plug-in hybrid models, at least for 2026 here, is basically all sport models ranging from the SE all the way up to the XSE technology and the GR. Now, the hybrid RAV4 gets you around 236 horsepower with the all-wheel drive, which is standard here in Canada, whereas you get just north of 320 horsepower on the plug-in hybrid powertrain system. But if you don't like the idea of a sport tuned suspension or a little bit more of a firm ride, and you want something a little bit more luxurious and comfortable in terms of the overall balance on the cabin or in the cabin, like for example the Limited, then you're going to have to go with the HEV. Both the HEV and the plug-in hybrid both have nearly identical routine scheduled maintenance recommendations from the manufacturer, from Toyota. They both also take regular octane gas. One of them does not need premium fuel, and putting premium fuel would really only be wasting your money. So is it worth waiting for the hybrid Toyota RAV4 over the plug-in hybrid? I would absolutely say yes, especially if you're not open to learning anything new and you don't want to have to deal with fueling your RAV4 plug-in hybrid, but then also charging your RAV4 hybrid. You don't want to have to think about, is there a charging location or a spot where I am going or where I'm coming from, etc. Then yes, absolutely waiting for a hybrid RAV4 is worth it 100%. But if you're open to the discussion of learning something new, and you keep in mind that if you're diligent enough, you almost rarely have to visit the gas station if you keep on top of your charging cycles, which is quite interesting, quite rewarding, and you can really reap up the benefit and reward that you paid more upfront for by going to a plug-in hybrid. Then yes, a plug-in hybrid is going to be something that's definitely worth it for you, and you could potentially get one quite sooner than a hybrid. So waiting for a longer wait of a hybrid versus potentially a shorter wait on the plug-in hybrid, just due to the overall popularity and demand. And, you know, some customers and viewers just don't want to have to deal with plugging anything in. Which one's right for you? Let me know in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed this video topic and review, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.